All right. All right. Frank is on.
Ain't informed about nothing.
Hello, Frank. I am at. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? It's adding you. There we
Oh,
go.
I gotta go sideways, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Hi. You got
Hey,
it. Awesome. Hey.
that worked.
Yes, it did. The first time, guys, we did not have no problems this time.
All
Because
right.
Frank, because Frank's a genius.
All right. I found a place to put this thing too, so I don't have to
Yes,
hold it either.
there you go. That's all you have to do. Oh, that's awesome. Well, welcome, Frank. So, my viewers out there, I want to introduce you to my lung cancer brother, Frank. Hey, Samantha. Hey, Amanda. I met Frank 5 years ago at my first Hope Summit. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I had given him my phone, and we were in the restaurant, and I was with the Chicago crew. And I had asked Frank, not knowing who he was then, I said, can you take a picture of us, please? And he said, sure. So what he did is he took a couple selfies, and then he turned around, and then he took a picture of us. So I have the selfie saved. I mean, I changed phones, but I'm pretty sure they're somewhere in my Dropbox. So that was a story of Frank. And then I didn't even know he was a lung cancer survivor, to be honest. I just thought he was a caregiver or he was just there as a speaker or something. And to kind of find out that um, he's also fighting this horrible illness. But Frank is a stage 4 lung cancer survivor. I'll let him explain, what his story. But I also want to say he's ALK positive like I am, and he is a big advocate for ALK positive. I mean, for lung cancer, but more for ALK positive. And since I'm ALK positive, I let him and the other guys and girls do that. I'll just be there to support them because I do
Come
other
on.
things. No, I mean, I do for ALK positive, but they're like, doing bigger things than I am. So I'm like, hey, that's fine. You guys go right ahead. I'll be behind you, rooting for you, supporting you. And I basically just do it all around, for all cancer. So for all lung cancer, I mean. But so
No, that's
everyone, this
important.
is Frank. Here is Frank, and Frank, take it away.
All right. All right. Well, hey, I, I totally forgot that story. I love it. Um, if you just joined, Juanita told a story about how I grabbed her camera 5 years ago to take a picture, and I flipped it around and took a couple of selfies, then gave it back to her, and I was like, "How's this look?" And I forgot that was like my funny guy move, but I think that's hilarious. Um, 5 years ago was also my first Hope Summit, and I met Juanita there, and Juanita, you and I were both diagnosed in 2014, so we've been
Yeah.
kind of walking along the same path for a little while now. Um, but yeah, diagnosed in 2014, stage 4, non-small cell adenocarcinoma. We were, I say, lucky enough to find out it was ALK positive because that is a big game changer
Hmm.
for those impacted by lung cancer. But still a very scary thing. And I'm at I was gonna say it was June 2014, so that's 4 years and 11 months. So I'm approaching a big milestone. I think you are
Woo!
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So but okay. So I don't know, Juanita. Are you supposed to ask me questions? Am I just supposed to go? I mean, I can just go, I
Just,
guess.
yeah, go share your story. So you were diagnosed June of 2014.
Yeah.
Take us through your journey. What was your hope then? What was your hope now? Um, as a lung cancer advocate, what are you doing? Just share with us, like invite
Yeah.
us into your journey with lung cancer, and
Okay.
just like I said, what gave you hope then, because it's thriving and hope with Juanita, and what gives you hope now and into the future.
Okay. Well, so I was diagnosed. I was just turning 35 years old at the time, and a cancer diagnosis was really like not on my radar at all. And
Right.
really, like, I didn't know anything about cancer or staging or anything. And so, doctor came in and he kind of explained that it was a lung cancer and it was this kind. And there were some spots of metastases that they were concerned about. And I was like, all right, well, let's go. Like, let's get rid of it. What do we need to do? And not fully recognizing what lung cancer was all about and any of the statistics at the time around lung cancer, but also staging in terms of, okay, once it leaves the lung, you got a kind of different approach to take there, and the results aren't usually that good. And so I kind of looked over my shoulder, and there was my wife, Katie Jo, and she was in tears, and I was kind of like, what? I was like, hey, I got this. I was like, what are you crying about? I was like, what's the deal? And so, I'm sure she had been Googling things and she was more informed than I was going into those appointments. Mm-hmm. I think what has got me to this point, now I'm really well informed right now, but at the time it was some healthy dose of naive about the whole thing and just saying, well, look, I'm not going to be afraid of that. And we're gonna treat it and get past it. I mean, I've got friends who have beat their cancer battles, and so it turns out I'm gonna be one of them. And so that was my approach going into the whole thing, and I expected nothing less than full success. I understood that the statistics were against me. I understood that there were new treatments coming all the time, and I was on a pretty fresh treatment. It was Xalkori at the time. That was a first-line drug. It had been approved by the FDA 3 years before my diagnosis. Mm-hmm. But the scary thing was there was a local man here, and I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, mm-hmm. and he passed away 5 years before I was diagnosed. About my age. He got some press. He was on the Today Show advocating and raising awareness around lung cancer. He was a never smoker. He got to go golfing with Justin Timberlake and a couple other cool people. Wow. Yeah. But then he passed away, and he was in line for the trial for the drug that I was getting there 5 years mm-hmm. later. So that was a wake up call for me, just in terms of one, how lucky I was to be able to get that drug, and have this diagnosis when I did. My line used to be, hey, 2014 is the best year to get diagnosed with lung cancer because, 5 years ago it wasn't the same. Right. And so it's really just gotten better and better from there. So let's see. I mean, real quick rundown of my cancer journey through the 5 years, and I don't want to give everybody get bored, but I got a great response to the drug. Everything was either stable or completely resolved in terms of metastases in the bones mm-hmm. and the lymph nodes. The tumor in the lung was stable, and 9 months after I started the drug, I had a great oncologist who was willing to take risks, throw the kitchen mm-hmm. sink at me. He's like, you're 35, you got nothing to lose, you're healthy, we can do surgery. So we went and we did a left lower lobectomy. They took out the primary tumor. There's a lot of debate around whether that's beneficial. It is for some. Mm-hmm. It turns out it's not for others, and it's really an individual outcome. There isn't a great answer to that question. I've had great results so far, and I feel lucky that I've had a care team that's been willing to be aggressive. But even trying to think, it was about 9 months after that surgery, I ended up having metastases in the brain. It's really just one spot. I was asymptomatic, but it was something we were looking for. And luckily we found it early, and we did targeted radiation. We did gamma knife radiation on that spot. Okay. But then 9 months after that, kind of, I don't know, I'm maybe boiling it down to 9 month increments, but that's what it felt like. There were the next MRI showed basically it was like multiple bilateral, numerous is what it said. And it was kind of like, okay. Mm-hmm. And that was our cue to change the drug. So the radiation got us an extra 9 months out of that first line drug. Okay. The new drug was known to protect the brain. I think it's the drug you're on, right? Alectinib. So
no, I'm still on ceritinib. I'm still on ceritinib.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, I've been on the,
Fabulous.
this July will be 4 years.
Okay. Nice. So anyway, I've been on this second gen drug,
Mm-hmm.
alectinib, ever since, and
Mm-hmm.
that's 2.5 years now. And
Oh, good.
just last month, went up and got scans, and everything's still clean.
All
So
right, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Um, so okay, advocacy. I think you oversold me a little bit. Um,
I
so
get
here,
it.
so here's what I have going on. So I try to get involved, where and when I can, and I try to balance it with work and with family. And so, um, if Amanda's still on the phone, on the line, I helped out with the flyer for our next big fun
Yes, you
summit in
did. It
Atlanta.
was beautiful. It
Thanks,
was
thanks.
beautiful.
Okay, those are just little things, though. I mean, I took a couple of hours and did that, right?
But
Um,
for you, it's little things. But for us, it's just, you're you're very well known, like, like I am. I mean, we're all well known,
yeah,
but it's because
I don't
of
know.
what we do. Because I'm so passionate about, making sure that I can make a change before I exit this world, and so are you. And
Yeah,
you're so passionate, and you're so you're willing to extend that hand out and help people and stuff like that. You're amazing, even though you're younger than me, but you're amazing. No, I'm just kidding.
well, hey, so um, just thinking about that, what I really enjoy is just reaching
Mhm.
out to people one on one and getting them on the phone and talking about, what do they want to know, and giving them sort of a here. I'm an example of somebody who's lived with stage 4 lung cancer for 5 years ago almost,
Mhm.
and so don't get down by the diagnosis. But I really do like to connect directly with people, and so that's why I love Hope Summit so much. We just got back from Hope Summit. For those who know anything about that, um, it's just like it's just the best, and you get,
Mhm.
and that's what I like to do is try to find everybody, try to find everybody for at least like 10, 15, 30 minutes, and just how you doing and what are you up to and what's new, and how have things been. Hey.
She always makes an appearance on my videos.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's my baby. Even though
Those
she's not my
cheeks.
baby, I know,
Those
right?
cheeks. Yeah. Can
But
I can
she's
I
my
give a
baby.
can I give a little
Sure. Look at Uncle Frank gave you a kiss. Say, look at
Yeah.
smiling.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
She looks like grandma. Okay, say bye.
Hey.
Mwah. Okay, I always smother her in kisses. Okay, I'm sorry. Steve always brings her and she makes her little appear. Oh,
I
she's
love it.
crying. You want to come back to grandma? So go ahead. I'm
So,
sorry.
yeah, um yeah, I just like connecting with people. And
Yeah,
and
that's good.
if I can I know I get involved locally with my American Lung Association. We've got a pretty good chapter
Good.
here in Omaha, and that's one way.
Awesome.
They do a pretty good event every year in November where they have probably 150 healthcare professionals come in. And last year, I kind of got up during lunch and did a whole, like, I had a PowerPoint presentation, and I was like,
That's
here's my slides, and I had
good.
like 15 slides, and it was all about like, hey, you're in the healthcare profession. Here's why smoking and lung cancer are associated. I get it. The statistics are there. Go back 70, 80
Yeah,
years, and you can see the correlations are
right.
strong. That's fine. But that's all those things are changing, and we're phasing out of that
Mhm.
whole smoking thing. And yeah, it happens slowly. And yeah, you do still see smokers who end up in your clinics with lung cancer. Um, but but certainly don't rule anything out when you see a younger person with a chronic cough that doesn't want to go away. Um, just order the CT scan. I mean, come on, like
Yes,
don't just send that
exactly.
person home with an inhaler, um, which is what happened to me initially. I mean, it took
Yep.
a full 6 months for me to get a diagnosis, and that was
Yeah.
from a noticeable persistent cough to um, you know multiple X-rays, bronchoscopies, breathing tests, asthma tests, all that stuff to rule out
Mm-hmm.
sort of what a CT scan could have identified really quickly. And so, that I feel like that's like a target-rich environment going into that healthcare group, and just saying, hey, by the way, look at me. So,
Right.
so I think that was a good opportunity to advocate.
Yes, that was a
Yeah.
very good opportunity to advocate. I'm so glad. You know what? I wish I had a strong, I mean, my Chicago girls, but as you know, I'm in Northwest Indiana and they're in the suburbs of Chicago. So
Yeah, it's not as easy
it's
to think.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
wish, I could start. So if any of my viewers out there, Northwest Indiana, if you know anyone that was diagnosed with lung cancer, any lung cancer patient, I want to start like even a group, if we get together once a week and just talking, I could help them because there's so many people that reached out to me. Like I had a young lady, I don't, she might be watching. Her mom was just diagnosed with lung cancer, and I think it was stage 4. I don't remember. Her
Okay.
name is Amber, and she lives in North Judson, Indiana. So that's about maybe a 30 minutes from where I am. So it's here in Indiana. And how she found me, Frank, was she Googled and I popped up. And she
Okay.
reached out, yeah, and she
I
looked
wonder what
and she
happens when you
looked.
Google me. Yeah.
I know, right? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna Google and then I'm gonna screenshot and I'll send it to you.
There you go.
But she Googled, I don't know, I think she Googled lung cancer survivors or in the area and I popped up. And
Okay.
she reached out to me through Facebook, and then I video chat with her and her family, and and I understand that they're further away in Indiana from where I am. So
Yeah.
going to University of Chicago Hospital or any Chicago hospital for them is it's probably going to be a drive. But
Yeah.
God, I just encourage people. I mean, I don't mean to talk
You
about the medical.
You know
Go
what's been a
ahead.
really good, well, what's been a really good tool that we have in our ALK positive Facebook group, but
Hmm.
EGFR resistors, anybody else who's got a group, um, is the map. So everybody just kind of put their info into an interactive map,
Yeah.
and I can log on right now and find out who's in Omaha who has ALK positive lung cancer. And just a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, somebody was like, "Hey, I saw you're in Omaha. I saw you on the map." And like my husband was just diagnosed, and I'd love it if you could talk to him. And
Oh,
so
that's
like that
awesome.
was a great way to make that connection, because otherwise, I mean, it's tough to, especially when you got a group that's 1,500 people now, on
Yeah.
Facebook. Who's where, and if you want to
Right.
make that local connection, because I do think the local face-to-face connection is a big deal, um, especially for a lot of people who aren't able to either travel to meet up with bigger groups, or um, who just aren't as engaged, and who don't want to be like,
Right.
I don't want to say absorbed in it, but because you can get knee deep in it pretty quick. But it's just a great tool that people can use, and so I recommend it for anybody else who has a group out there, is to get everybody on the map. It's a good way to find your friends locally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I checked for Northwest Indiana. Honestly, I think I was the only one. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Chicago had a lot, but I have to
Okay.
go back. I have to go back and look to see. But no, I mean, it's like in my other interviews, I've said it that for some reason people here in Northwest Indiana, they don't want to either come out or they don't want to let no one know or they just don't want to be involved. I don't know what it is.
Well, that's I don't know. Maybe that's more common than. I mean, I think the Chicago crew has something pretty lucky. Um, I mean, so we tried really hard for 3 years
Hmm.
to engage a lung cancer support group here in Omaha and get regular attendees. Um, and I'd say half the meetings I went to, it was me one-on-one with a social worker. I got to know her real well. We're just chatting
Hmm.
it out. And it got to the point where, 10 minutes in, it's like, you think anybody's coming? Is like, nah, okay, let's call it. But we were there, and
Right.
we did have attendees kind of come and go, and I think that was valuable. But it was also sort of like, something's just not working here. It's hard to really get that out. One other thing that I think is important, if you're going to be an advocate and you want to do that on a local level, is to be willing to give out your information to doctors,
Yes.
and you have to actually, I mean, actively tell them like, here, give this information to anybody who you feel like might want to talk to somebody.
Right.
I give you 100% permission to do that, you know, because
Right.
they're so concerned about, you know, the HIPAA laws and all that kind of stuff. So that's an important way to break down some of those barriers that are there.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I do what I do, because I'll just keep doing to reach out, and they know that I'm here. So if they want to call, or if they want to reach out to me, I mean, pretty much here where I live in East Chicago, God, everyone knows me and my story and my husband. So, I mean, but
Yeah.
thank God, I think there's one East Chicagoan,
Okay.
here where I live, was diagnosed with lung cancer. If I'm not mistaken, I think she says she's Ned. I tried to get her involved in some stuff, but she didn't want to, which is fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Um, but she knows that I'm here if she needs
Yeah.
something. I try to get her to go to the summit and just get involved a little bit and help me advocate, but that's okay. It's probably not for everyone. Not everyone is as bold and as crazy and loud as I am, and so I get it. I get it. I could be a little, little dramatic, but
Oh,
that's
come.
okay. I
I
can
love
be,
it.
but that's okay.
That's why it works for you, though. I mean, that's what works. So
Yeah,
you gotta
if
be
I could
yourself.
slang,
You
if
gotta
I
be
could slang
yourself.
jewelry and do this, I could do anything. Shoot, I could do a
Yeah.
Facebook Live. But Callie had also mentioned. Let me go down through the comments. If anyone has any questions for Frank, please type them in.
I can't see
Callie
the
said that.
questions, so you gotta tell me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll let you know. So Kelly said, I am on the sent home with an inhaler bus too. So
Oh
that makes
no.
three of us.
Okay.
I was sent home with an inhaler back in June.
Yeah.
And all they did was an X-ray, and that was it. And then I found out in November. So you said yours was about 6 months. Mine was about 5 months when I was
Yeah.
diagnosed. Let's see what else. Someone else said, oh, Lisa from Chicago also said she got sent home with an inhaler as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Renee said yes. CT scan for anyone who asks. I agree. My
Yeah.
boys are both firefighters, and now because of that, I told them, you have great insurance. Every year you're gonna go for low dose
Oh,
CT
sure.
scan. Yeah, I don't care. Um, People are asking. Okay, so people are here asking about the Elk Summit. That's gonna be in August, from August
Yeah.
2nd through the 4th, right?
That's right. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's a great location to get in and out of. Great airport, huge airport, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody can find a flight to Atlanta. So that was one of the drivers of putting it there, I believe. And Chris Draft is based in Atlanta, so that guy's going to party with us all weekend. If you know Chris, or if you don't, it's a great opportunity to meet him. He's got an awesome story, and he's done a ton for lung cancer over the last 5-7 years, and so Chris will be there. We've got tours planned for the College Football Hall of Fame, which is going to be fun, a little outing. But we've also got Amanda Nerstead hooked this up. She's got Dr. Christine Lovely, who's at Vanderbilt Medical Center, and she's going to come, and she's very interested in engaging the community. And so she's going to come and be available, give a talk. I'm trying to think who else. The main thing is who was trying to think who was at the. I mean, we had good numbers in Louisville, so we did a little thing like this in Louisville last year. Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, I got 3 baseball bats, but I don't need any more baseball bats, so we're not going to do Louisville again. But it was a lot of fun. The value in the weekend is really just connecting.
Yes.
And touching base with all your friends. I mean, every time you can connect with another ALK positive lung cancer person and just see how they're doing and what's going on. It's just there's a ton of hope in that. And so
Yes.
that's what I'm excited about. Although this summit is coming, Katie Jo's sister, Sarah, is getting married on the 2nd. And so I might have to like fly in early Saturday morning. Because I told her, I was like, I'm going. So so we're going to figure that out. But I'm excited about it. It's going to be awesome. Hey, come here, buddy.
Oh,
Do you
that's
want to
your
say
son?
hi? Yeah, here's Bennett.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
He can't hear you because I got the
Oh,
headphones in.
duh.
She
Okay, I'm
says
a
hi.
little
How are
slow
you?
too.
He says he's good. All right. Are you guys done playing basketball?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Say
that's
bye.
bye.
Okay. He's like, what are you doing?
Kids, they don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we last year in Louisville, oh my God, I had such a great time in Louisville, Kentucky. I fell in love with that little city.
Yeah.
It was like Midwest with Southern hospitality. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know what to
Even
expect. So,
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Everywhere I go, I always text Steve or tell Steve, "Oh my God, we got to move out here." He goes, "Do you know that everywhere we go, you say that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "Oh my God, Steve,
yeah.
I think we'll do great." And he goes, "I am not moving to Kentucky." I go, "But we're next to Indiana." And he goes, I said, "I just want to leave. I want to go where it's warmer. Maybe Kentucky's a little bit warmer."
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
everywhere
funny.
I go, I always say I want to go somewhere. I want to live there. But that's just me because I just want to move. I'm sick of the cold already. But
Yeah.
yeah, so if any of you guys out there that are ALK positive, if you know anyone that is ALK positive and doesn't really know about our ALK positive Facebook page, um, or this upcoming summit, please let them know. They could ask me. You guys could ask Frank.
Yeah.
Anyone out there in the Nebraska area, Frank is there for you if you know someone that got newly diagnosed or
Yeah.
someone that is diagnosed but doesn't really want to come out and talk, whatever. Encourage them to talk to Frank. Frank is great. He could help he or she get through whatever it is that they need to get through. Give them hope. There is hope,
Thanks.
people.
Yeah.
Now, Frank, talk a little bit about hope. I know what gave you hope then. What gives you hope now and for the future? And what kind of words of advice do you have for our fellow lung cancer brothers and sisters?
Oh, what gives me hope? Okay, so one thing I really wanted to do, and I've told this story, so some of you have heard this, but like my mission when I was diagnosed was to find my twin. Um, and so I had a hard time doing that. I think it took about a year and a half to really find my twin who was like, hey, we were diagnosed at the same time. We're on the same, we had surgery
Mm-hmm.
and progression and all that stuff. I found that person, but um, my real source of hope was always Linnea Olson. So if Linnea, if you're on, I love you. Um, she was the number one where when I Googled, it was like, look, there's Linnea, and she's like fighting the
Mm-hmm.
fight of her life, and like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's like she's at 10 years, and now she's at 12 years, and now
Yeah.
she's 15. So um, she's really been sort of just like a beacon of, hey, what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Especially her being diagnosed 10 years before we
Yeah.
were, it's like, okay, this is doable.
Right.
So that's what gives me hope. I mean, what keeps me going are my kids and
Right.
my wife. I'd like to say work, but man, I'm over that right now. So I hope I don't have any coworkers on, but
That's okay.
yeah, I need a break from that right now. But yeah, that's what keeps me going. And really, I mean, I think it's important to find somebody who you can kind of track with.
Mm-hmm.
It's risky too. It's really risky. I had a friend once who was just like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" She's like, not everybody's going to have a great outcome, and how are you going to react when something bad happens? And I think you just got to accept that, you got to know what you're getting yourself into to a point, but finding that person to match up with is super important, and
Yeah.
staying in touch and comparing notes every once in a while.
Yes.
So, that's always been a beacon of hope, and it's also really cool to find those people, and then have those people say over the course of several years, yeah, I just don't really think about it as much anymore. I'm not really as engaged. I'm kind of just moving on. And while that's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
disappointing too, in some ways, you kind of want them to stay engaged. You also like love the fact that they're just getting on with their life, and they're kind of just
Right.
trying to put that behind them. And if you can put a stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis behind you, and I know people will say you're never going to be able to do that. Okay. But if you can live to the point where it's like not something you're thinking about. We were joking, my wife and I were joking. She said something about, men think about sex every 3 minutes or something like that. And it's just like, well, men with cancer think about cancer every 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And same with women. It's like so if you can get to that point where it's not something that's always running through your head, that's a huge accomplishment. And so kudos to anybody who can do that.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I agree. Alicia Gates asked, has anyone with non-small cell lung cancer, ALK positive, has done immunotherapy? If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, I don't think immunotherapy works for ALK positive patients. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's a great topic. So immunotherapy, there have been people, they were initially studies trying combination therapies, mixing your ALK inhibitor with an immunotherapy, and those didn't go well. And Dr. Shaw at Hope Summit actually highlighted this as something that was people who take their ALK inhibitor and progress and then try to do immunotherapy. The immunotherapy is like extra toxic after an ALK inhibitor. So we're really trying to crack that code because, we still think that there's a huge opportunity there to figure out, harnessing the immune system, which is actually why our ALK positive research fund has raised over $600,000, $700,000+. Yeah. And we sponsored 3 projects, all of them aligned around cracking that immunotherapy code for ALK positive lung cancer.
Awesome.
So I think there's a lot of curiosity about why, this type in particular, while we respond so well to all these targeted therapies, the immunotherapies are almost like a poison pill, which is strange. And so, we're trying to figure that out. So right now, it's not a huge, it's not an extremely effective tool. And last I heard, the combo therapies, the trials around those were, I mean, maybe they're still trying them, but I didn't hear they were going well. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. So any other questions out there? I was trying to think of something else, but I can't remember.
That's all right.
I think that was it. Yeah. But so words of advice to our fellow lung cancer brothers and sisters or newly diagnosed that are watching this Facebook Live. What would you like to tell them?
2019 is the best year to get lung cancer. If you're newly diagnosed, you just, it's, nobody wants that diagnosis, of course. No. But if you're going to get it, this is the best year. Last year was okay. The year before that was all right. But it just keeps getting better for, in the lung cancer world. And even if you're not ALK positive or EGFR, the immunotherapies are showing that there's a lot of hope out there for what we can accomplish through addressing cancers that don't have driver mutations. And so tons of hope out there, and there's a lot of all that's immunotherapy last year and the year before and the year before that, those were all in clinical trials. You couldn't get those. Now you have multiple options for immunotherapy. Technically, there's 5 different ALK inhibitors out there. I said this at Hope Summit, and then I felt bad because I was like, geez, I have 5 drugs I could choose from. I'm pretty spoiled, pretty lucky, pretty spoiled. Not everybody is so lucky. But there's just a ton of research happening right now. I mean, you just think about the drug companies. Everybody likes to bash the drug companies, but I mean, hey, there's a lot of us lung cancer people out there. If you think about how many people are diagnosed every year, and it's a huge opportunity for them. And so they are working extremely hard to crack the code. Drug prices aside and all that stuff, there's a lot of people working for us. I did a tour a couple of years ago of who's in Indianapolis. Um, big drug company, not Bristol Myers Squibb, but anyway,
Pfizer? Pfizer?
no, no, not Pfizer. But anyway, we got a great, and they are working hard on KRAS, and KRAS is like a big
Okay,
piece of the pie,
yes. Mm-hmm.
and that was a couple of years ago, and so, I mean, they're working hard on that, and they had a whole lab dedicated to it, and so
That's
they
awesome.
see a market opportunity, they see a way to make some money, but they see a way to save some lives, and we should embrace that. So,
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
know they do bash the pharma, big pharma. They do. I'll be honest, I've bashed them a few times.
it's all right.
I know Steve, Steve bashes them too because, he gets so
Yeah.
frustrated. But, like my son said earlier, he was home from working because, firemen, they work 24 hours and then they're home a couple of days and then they go back. He came home and of course he goes, Mom, I'm ordering pizza. I'm like, okay, well, of course I
Hmm.
can't eat clean
Yeah.
because, my kids. And so had to take my targeted therapy, and I just felt every time I see those pills, Frank, I get nauseous. It's just automatically.
Mm,
I even see the bottle, and I'm like, because I hate taking them. Now, I could take any other pills, but
yeah.
just those pills. So
Yeah.
I usually take it with pop or something, with the Coke or whatever is at the house, because just with water, it just makes me more nauseous. And then I told my son, oh God, I'm so sick and tired of taking these darn pills, and I was complaining. And then he goes, Mom, he goes, those pills are keeping you alive. So just hush and take your pills.
Take your pills.
And I thought about it. I'm like, okay, smart butt. All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wish I didn't have to take them, but I know I have to take them. So
Yeah.
I just take
Yeah.
them. I'm here.
I think over the last couple of years, I've gone through a phase where I kind of wanted to be done with just being in
Hmm.
treatment. And I was like, why can't we just taper this down? What would happen? Um, what about doing like let's just scan less frequently? Things are going really well. Can't we
Yeah.
just can't we just kind of call it like in the clear at some
Yeah.
point? And finally, both Katie Joe and both I have a spy over here. This is my
Okay.
8-year-old. He's still here. He's just like. But finally, what? I don't know, honey. I don't know. Ask mommy. He goes, "Where's my iPad?" I was like, "Well, we hid it, but I don't know where I don't know where they are." What was I talking about? Oh, stretching out scans. And finally, between Katie Joe and my doctor, they're like,
Hmm.
"For what? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?" So we can find a recurrence a month later, or so we can be a month behind and getting in and getting in front of what's next. If there is something next, and how bad
Hmm.
is this really? Is it really bad?
Yeah.
Is it really that hard to come in every 3 months? Do you not have support at work? Do you not have a way to do this? You can't get up here for that. And so finally, they're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
you win." So yeah, stick with it. You just gotta stick with it.
I know.
Um,
I try to get off of mines too. I told my oncologist, can I stop taking them? No. I mean, I think every 3 months, for like almost, for almost a year, I finally stopped. But I was like,
yeah,
doctor, can I get off? No, no. And she finally told me, stop asking me. You're never going to get off these pills. She says, so, and you're going to come every 3 months for your scans. And I'm like, okay. Hi, sweetheart.
you say
And
hi,
so
Kim.
I was like, okay. And then, one day she did tell me, she goes,
Hi.
hi, sweetheart, how are you?
Good.
What are you guys
Good.
doing? I don't know. Give me.
Who's so happy?
Get out of here.
Who's so happy?
I don't know. Ask mommy.
So
I don't.
You're at the
one
wall.
time she
Mommy
she
said.
told me,
Yeah.
Juanita, she goes, I don't think you're
Mommy,
ever gonna get off
Daddy,
of
you're at the
Ceritinib.
wall.
And she says,
Yeah.
and I think she goes, I don't think the cancer's ever coming back. She goes, you are a walking miracle. And I'm like, honey, I say that in the name of
Yeah.
Jesus. Amen. Praise God.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. And I don't claim it. I don't claim it. And I just walk around. Yes. When people see me, oh, you're the cancer lady. I'm like, no, I was the cancer lady. That's past tense.
Yeah.
Leave it in the past. Let's
Yeah.
close that door forever. And I'm looking for a brighter future and
Yeah.
meeting more grandkids and seeing my granddaughter grow up. And I always say I'm going to be at her quinceañera. I'm going to be at her wedding. I'll be old as hell, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll be there with the cane, You
Hell
know,
yeah.
my back, I came back from DC, got sick with a sore throat. I was
Oh
sick for
no.
like a day and a half. Then my back went out because my Soritinib causes joint aches and
Okay.
muscle pumps. So my elbows, so that's why when I work out, I don't lift heavy anymore. So
Yeah.
my knees are always hurting. My elbows are always in pain because of Soritinib. That's one of the side effects. While my lower back has been going out more than it ever did. So last
Mm.
year, I think it went out twice. The year before that, it went out 3 times. So
Ugh.
this is the first year it went out. And this happened Tuesday evening. And I went to go use the bathroom and I couldn't get up.
Oh
And
no.
my back was out. So I had to get my kids and some one of my coaches to cover my CrossFit for me.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here with a bunch of Tiger Balm and Bengay, whatever you want to call it, in my
Yeah.
back. So it's feeling better. I mean, I could sit and do the interview, but when I get it, oh yeah. So I have to be better by tomorrow because my daughter graduates tomorrow from college. So I was like,
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
I can't
There you
go
go.
over there in a wheelchair or in a crutch or
No.
in a walker.
You'll be better. You'll be better. It'll
Yeah,
work.
I
It'll
will. I've been
work.
taking painkillers too, so I've been feeling really good with
All
those.
right.
I
All
know.
right,
I'll be like,
everybody. This is Juanita on
woo!
painkillers. Here we go.
I know, and I'm feeling real good. But you know, that's just those are the side effects that we have to live with. But like my son says, you're here. It's keeping you alive. So just take that
Yeah.
and stop complaining. And
Stop
he's right.
complaining. Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. But
Yep.
yeah. But guys, anyone out there, again, if you know of someone that was newly diagnosed in the Omaha, Nebraska area, please reach out to Frank. He's a great person, a great brother of mine, and a wonderful lung cancer advocate. So reach out to him if you
Yeah.
guys, have any, or
Yeah.
anyone for
They
that
don't have.
matter.
Yeah. They don't have to be in. They don't have to be ALK
Right,
positive. They don't have to be in Omaha. If you feel
right.
like there's somebody who would relate to somebody like me,
Yes,
I'm happy to talk to them. I'd love to do it. So
yes. So please reach
yeah.
out to him. If you have any questions about the ELK Summit in Atlanta, reach out to him. He has more information. I don't.
Yeah.
I just know
Yeah.
that I'm going.
I got a secret
And
copy of the agenda. I can't talk about it too
yeah,
much,
no, that's fine.
but yeah.
So yeah, any more information, if you're ALK positive and you're not on our ALK positive Facebook group, please join. It's a great site. I try to be on it a lot and get some information and stuff, but I'm so darn busy. I got the business, I do this, I got my
Yeah.
jewelry, I got the grandbaby. I'm like and then now I have daughter graduating tomorrow. My other daughter's graduating high
Yeah,
school
you got
next
full
month.
plate.
Yeah, she's getting ready for prom. And it's like, oh my God, I'm just so busy. So if you want more information about the ALK Summit, reach out to Frank. I know Gina, Amanda, I don't know who else. I'm on the committee to help out, but I just tell me, what, just let me know what's going on.
Let me know what's
And
going on.
because I'm so darn busy.
Yeah.
I also
If
posted.
Amanda's still on, she's okay. So Amanda Nurstad, first of all,
Uh-huh.
like she's been battling with the hotel to get the space reserved
Yes,
and
I
getting the
know.
contract for the special room rates
Yeah.
and talking about catering and how do we want the room set up, what AV equipment do we need, all that stuff. Amanda's been working really hard on that.
Yes, she has.
Um,
Thank you,
and
Amanda.
so yeah, I hope she's still on and I want her recognized for that. So,
Yes, she's doing a great
but
job, honey.
oh yeah.
And I know that's a lot of hard work. I just don't have time for that. Also, if any of you lung cancer survivors out there, we're planning a lung cancer cruise 2020 next March. If you're
Yeah.
interested in that, you could get a hold of me. I'm kind of in charge of that. But Brooke, which is Suzanne's daughter, she's a travel agent. She's putting it together. We do have a group on Facebook. I think it's called Lung Cancer Cruise 2020. Uh,
Yeah.
Brooke
No,
put that together.
I don't think you'll find two of those. Is there another lung
Yeah,
cancer cruise? That should be enough to get you there.
yeah. So if you're interested, we do have some opening. I think Brooke had mentioned that we need so many people to secure it as a group. So any of you guys out there, I love cruising. If you get seasick, it's all right. Just take something for it. I mean, you'll be all right. I get seasick. I know what to pop in. Motion sickness pills. So it's Lung Cancer Cruise 2020 in March 1st, I think, through the 8th, and we're leaving. I don't even know where we're leaving, but we're going to Cozumel, Mexico, and then I think we're stopping in somewhere in Honduras, and then Belize, and then back to Mexico, and I forgot
Ooh,
where. So it's
nice.
going to be a 7-day cruise. Awesome. You have a whole year to make your monthly payment. So if you like, like I said, reach out to me about that. Share this video. Um, I also have a YouTube channel, which I will put this on the YouTube. So if you know someone out there that doesn't have Facebook, I have all my videos on my YouTube channel, and they could go through all the videos and hear all the different stories of all of us lung cancer survivors from all walks of life, all
Yeah.
ages. Lung cancer does not discriminate. If you have lungs, you can get lung cancer.
Yeah.
I just posted an article. It was from the UK, but it was an article talking about how lung cancer and non-smokers is on the rise. And I knew that, but I guess it's still on the rise. So if you get a
Mm-hmm.
chance, I posted on my personal page, and I posted on my Juanita's Fight Against Lung Cancer page. So read it. Even though, you don't have lung cancer, no one in your family does, just read it. Just educate yourself so you could understand lung cancer. You could understand why we advocate. You could understand why, me and Frank and all of us, we keep stop the stigma, 433 die a day. So you could get an understanding of why
Mm-hmm.
we fight so hard, because it's that stigma. We get less funding, and it's not a smoker disease. So that's why I do what I do with so much passion. And, and I pray a lot. I pray and ask God to please, I don't want to lose any more lung cancer brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. I know, we went to the Hope Summit, and I pray that next year we don't lose anybody when we go back. But unfortunately, it has happened. I go, I see someone, and then they're gone, and it just breaks my heart. So that's why we do what we do, because I want this to be a chronic disease. I want to find a cure. I want us to live a long, happy life so we could be there for our children or grandchildren. Frank wants to see his kids grow up.
Yep.
I want to meet my grandchildren. I mean, it isn't fair, and I know that's part of life, but I just pray, and I just keep praying that, God will give these wonderful, medical professionals out there the knowledge and wisdom to help us to live longer. So please
Yep.
share, educate yourself. When you get a chance, if you see something for lung cancer, if it's through Longevity, Lung Cancer Foundations of America, whatever it is, donate. Please donate. Trust me, that money does go to research. I promise you, it goes to research. They're not a scam. They're a great
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
We matter too. We want to live longer, and I want to travel. Shoot, I'm waiting for Steve to retire so I go see the world.
Come on, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, he says he has 4 or 5 more years. I just want to see the
Okay.
world. But meanwhile, I'll do my little traveling and do what I got to do. So,
Yeah.
Frank, thank you so much.
Hey,
It's
thank you
been
so much for
great.
the invitation. I was
Oh, you're
thrilled. I
welcome.
was
And
thrilled to get it.
yes, and you were my first guy interview. Woo,
Really?
woo, woo.
All right.
Yes,
Woo!
yes, you made it. You were my first guy interview. It's just been nothing but women. And
Well,
I was trying,
I know. And what's up with that?
I
I mean,
know. Tell him.
come on, ladies, quit getting sick. And like, why can't we? I can't find any guys to hang out with at the Hope Summit. It's all now. Andy Trellhen is also one
Yeah,
of our ALK positive brothers, and
yes,
he starts chemo today. And so I want to give him a big shout out. We're thinking about you, praying for you,
yes, we are,
and I
Andy.
want this day to go smoothly for you. But yeah, there was a couple of pictures where I'm looking around like, wait, is this just a lady's picture or? And no, there's just no other guys here around. So, but
Yeah,
anyway, we met a lot of great new people, and we met
yes, we
plenty of
did.
male survivors. If you're looking for male survivors, I just gotta go through who I just met, and there's a great handful of dudes out there. So you can get
Yes,
them on. They're
yes.
newbies though.
Well,
I don't,
yeah, they're
they're gonna have
newbies.
a
That's
different
okay.
perspective, but maybe
Yes, they
we
are.
can show them some hope.
Yeah, and we
Yep.
could break them slowly. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right.
They'll
Well,
become like us. They'll
yeah.
become like us, and you know. But yeah, guys, pray for Auntie. Um, I saw him at the Hope Summit. Before he left, I hugged him and I literally put my hands around him and I prayed over him and I covered him in the blood of Christ. And I know deep down in my heart that that God's going to heal him. I believe in miracles. I believe in the power of prayers. I believe in God says he heals, he does heal. You just got to believe and have that faith. And I have it. So I have
Yep.
that faith for Andy, and I believe so. And I think Andy does too after talking to him for a while. I think he probably thought I
Oh
was
yeah.
crazy, but he told me, thank you, Juanita. He goes, I really appreciate our talk. And, when I
Yeah.
talk, I get to preaching a little bit, and it's because I just want everyone to just be healed. And I know God heals because he healed me. So that's why I do it, guys. And yeah, I'm
Yep.
not a fanatic. I have lots and lots of love for our Heavenly Father. I love him with my whole heart and soul. So
Amen. Yep.
yes, amen. So thank you guys
All
for
right,
everything.
Juanita.
Again, Frank, thank you so much. God bless you. Good night. And then I will see you soon,
Yes,
hopefully in August.
that's our plan.
Now, if
All
you're
right.
going to have something in June to celebrate your big 5 year, let me know because Nebraska
Okay.
is not far from me.
Well, so yeah, we were talking about maybe coming to Chicago and trying to find a
Oh,
baseball game to go to or something like that, but
that'll be,
we don't
yes.
have it figured out yet. We'll have to find
Yes.
you
Well,
though.
let me know. Let the Chicago people know.
Okay. We'll
Let
do.
us know. Yes. And then whoever could go, will be there.
All right. It's a
Okay,
plan.
Frank. Thank you. Good night.
All
Good
right.
night,
Love you guys.
everyone.
Yep.
Okay. Love you too, honey. Bye-bye.